Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the research ship Stellar Wind. He was looking at the star charts on the big screen in front of him. The ship was moving slowly through space near the edge of the galaxy. They were making maps of stars that no one had visited before. "Captain, I am seeing something strange," said Mira. She was the science officer. Her blue skin and forearms showed she was from the Kethran planet. Her voice sounded worried. Hyunwoo walked over to her station. "What kind of strange?" Mira pointed at her screen. "Look at this area here. It should have stars, planets, maybe some space dust, but there is nothing. It is like a big empty bubble in space." The screen showed a perfect circle of blackness. It was about 50 light-years wide. Around it, stars shined normally. But inside the circle, there was only darkness. "That cannot be right," said Hyunwoo. "Check your equipment." Mira ran her tests again. Her 4 hands moved quickly over the controls. "Everything is working fine, Captain. The empty space is real." June looked up from his desk. He was the ship's expert on old civilizations. His people, the Valdorians, were known for being very smart. "Captain, may I see this?" Hyunwoo nodded. June came over and looked at the screen. His eyes grew wide. "I have heard stories about places like this," June said. "Very old stories. My people call them the dead zones." "Dead zones?" asked Hyunwoo. "Places in space where nothing lives. Where ships disappear if they go too close." June looked scared. "But I thought they were just stories." Hyunwoo was curious. He had been exploring space for 20 years. He had never seen anything like this. "Mira, can you scan deeper into that area?" "I will try, Captain." Mira started working on her controls. She sent scanning beams toward the empty space. Suddenly, all the lights on the bridge started flashing red. Warning sounds filled the air. "What is happening?" shouted Hyunwoo. "The scanners are not working," Mira said. "Something is blocking them." Then something even stranger happened. Points of light started appearing around the edge of the empty space. They were far away, but the ship's computers could see them clearly. "Captain," said the ship's computer in its calm voice, "I am detecting artificial objects. They appear to be very old beacons." Beacons. Hyunwoo had never heard of beacons this far from any civilization. The beacons began to send out signals. The ship's computer started translating the messages. Words appeared on the main screen, but they were in languages that Hyunwoo did not know. June gasped. "Captain, I can read some of these languages. They are very, very old. Some of them have been dead for thousands of years." "What do they say?" asked Hyunwoo. June read slowly. "This one says stay away. Death waits inside. This one says the forbidden zone. No entry allowed. And this one..." June stopped talking. His face became very pale. "What does it say, June?" "It says the Terran quarantine zone. By order of the Galactic Confederation. Entry forbidden. Penalty is total extinction." The bridge became very quiet. Everyone knew about the old Galactic Confederation. It had ruled most of the galaxy thousands of years ago. But no one knew what had happened to it. "What is a Terran?" asked Mira. June shook his head. "I do not know. I have never heard that word before." More messages kept coming from the beacons. The computer translated them into many different languages. But they all said the same thing. "Stay away, do not enter. Death is inside." Hyunwoo felt a chill run down his back. "How old are these beacons?" The computer answered. "Based on the materials and energy signatures, they are at least 3,000 years old. Possibly older." 3,000 years, whispered Mira. "They have been here all this time, warning ships to stay away." Hyunwoo looked at the empty space on the screen. What could be so dangerous that an entire civilization would put warning beacons around it? What was inside that empty bubble? "Captain," said June, "I think we should leave. These warnings are very serious." But Hyunwoo was curious. He had always been curious. It was what made him a good explorer. "The beacons are very old. Maybe whatever was dangerous is gone now. Or maybe it is still there," said June. "Maybe that is why the space is empty." Hyunwoo thought about this. The Stellar Wind was a research ship. They were supposed to explore and find new things, but they were also supposed to be safe. "Mira, can you scan the beacons without going closer?" "Yes, Captain. I can do that." Mira worked on her controls. "The beacons are using very old technology, but they are still working perfectly. Someone built them to last a very long time." More beacons started turning on. Soon there were hundreds of them, all around the edge of the empty space. They formed a perfect circle, like guards standing watch. "Captain," said the computer, "I am detecting something else." There are ship remains near some of the beacons. Very old ship remains. Ships that tried to go inside? Asked Hyunwoo. That appears correct. The remains show damage from weapons that are no longer used in this galaxy. Jun was looking through his books about old civilizations. Captain, I found something. There are stories about areas of space that the old races feared. They called them the silent zones, places where powerful things were locked away. Locked away by who? No one knows. The stories say that long ago there was a great war. After the war, the winners locked away something very dangerous. They put it in places like this and told everyone never to go there. Hyunwoo looked at the empty space again. It was perfectly round, perfectly dark. Whatever was inside, someone had gone to a lot of trouble to keep it hidden. Set course away from here, he said finally. But mark this location. We need to learn more about this before we do anything else. As the stellar wind turned away, the beacons slowly stopped sending their warnings. But Hyunwoo knew they would start again if any ship came too close. He could not stop thinking about the empty space. What was inside? Who were the Terrans? And why was the whole galaxy so afraid of them that they built a wall of warnings to keep everyone away? Hyunwoo did not know it yet, but he had just found the biggest mystery in the galaxy, and soon that mystery would change everything. The stellar wind flew toward Nexus Prime. It was the biggest space station in the galaxy. Millions of people from hundreds of different worlds lived there. If anyone had answers about the strange empty space, they would be at Nexus Prime. Captain Hyunwoo walked through the busy streets of the station. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved around him. Some had many arms, some had no arms at all. Some looked like giant insects, others looked like living rocks. But they all lived together in peace. Hyunwoo was looking for someone special. Her name was Yuna, and she was the best data archaeologist in the galaxy. Data archaeologists were people who could find old information that had been lost or hidden. He found Yuna in the Great Library. It was a huge building filled with computers that held all the knowledge of the galaxy. Yuna was sitting at a desk looking at very old files on her screen. Yuna, said Hyunwoo. I need your help. Yuna looked up. She was young and had bright eyes that seemed to see everything. Captain Hyunwoo, I heard you found something interesting near the rim. More than interesting. I found something impossible. Hyunwoo sat down next to her. Have you ever heard of something called the Terran Quarantine Zone? Yuna's eyes grew wide. Where did you hear that name? From old warning beacons. Thousands of them. All around an empty area of space. Hyunwoo told her everything about what they had found. When he finished, Yuna was quiet for a long time. Then she started typing very fast on her computer. I have heard whispers of this, she said, but I thought it was just a legend. Give me some time. I need to look in the restricted files. Restricted files? Information that is so old or so dangerous that most people cannot see it. But I have special permission. Yuna's fingers moved like lightning over her keyboard. Here, I found something. On her screen appeared a very old document. The writing was hard to read because it was so old. This is from the archives of the Galactic Confederation, said Yuna. It talks about a species called humans, also known as Terrans. What does it say about them? Yuna read slowly. They lived in the area you found. They had one main world called Earth. It says they were normal. Not very strong, not very smart, not very fast. They lived for about 100 years. They had no special powers. That does not sound dangerous, said Hyunwoo. No, it does not. Yuna looked confused. But look at this. She opened another file. This is a military report from 3,000 years ago. It says that every major war in galactic history had human involvement. As conquerors. No, that is the strange part. Not as conquerors. As helpers. They always seemed to show up when other species were in trouble. They would help them fight or give them ideas or just inspire them to keep going. Yuna opened more files. As she read, her face became more and more worried. Captain, this is very strange. Listen to this report. The humans arrived at the Battle of Kepler Prime just as we were about to surrender. They had only 3 small ships against the enemy's 1,000. But somehow they turned the battle around. They fought like they could not die. They made our soldiers believe they could win. We won that day, but we do not understand how. Maybe they were just good fighters, said Hyunwoo. But look at this one, Yuna continued. The human traders came to our world during the Great Plague. They had no cure, but they stayed to help anyway. Many of them got sick and died. But they kept working. They taught our people to never give up hope. Somehow we found the cure ourselves. The humans said we had it in us all along. More and more reports filled the screen. Humans helping in wars they could not win. Humans working on problems they could not solve. Humans dying for people they barely knew. They were always there when someone needed help, said Yuna. But they never asked for anything in return. So why were they locked away? Asked Hyunwoo. Yuna kept searching. Then she found something that made her stop breathing. Captain, look at this. It is a report from the last year before the quarantine. The report was different from the others. It sounded scared. The humans are changing, Yuna read. Something is happening to them. They are becoming more, stronger, smarter, faster, but not just in body. In spirit too. When they speak, other species listen. When they fight, others want to fight beside them. When they hope, others start to believe in impossible things. That still does not sound dangerous, said Hyunwoo. Yuna found another report. We are afraid. The humans do not even know what they are becoming. But we can see it. They are turning into something that could change the entire galaxy. Not by force, but by example. We are afraid that if they continue to change, we will all become like them. And we are not sure we want that. Then Yuna found the last report. It was very short. The humans must be contained. Not because they are evil, but because they are too good. They make us want to be better than we are. They make us believe we can do anything. This is dangerous. If all species become like humans, who will lead? Who will rule? The Galactic Confederation has decided. The humans will be sealed away until we decide what to do with them. Hyunwoo felt sick. They locked away an entire species because they were afraid of becoming better people? It gets worse, said Yuna. She found one more file. This is the final entry in the human files. It says the sealing protocol has been activated. The humans have been told they are being protected from a great danger. They do not know the truth. May the cosmos forgive us for what we have done. They lied to them, whispered Hyunwoo. Yes, and look at the date. This was 3,847 years ago. The humans have been locked away all this time. Hyunwoo stood up. He felt angry and sad at the same time. We have to tell someone about this. Tell who? The Galactic Confederation is gone. Most of the species that made this decision are extinct now. Then we have to do something ourselves. Before Yuna could answer, an old voice spoke behind them. You will do nothing. They turned around. A very old Valdorian was standing there. His skin was gray with age and his eyes looked tired. Who are you? Asked Hyunwoo. My name is Taemin. I have been listening to your conversation. The old alien sat down slowly. You have found the human files. You know about this? Asked Yuna. My great-grandfather told me stories, said Taemin. He was alive when the humans were sealed away. He was there when the decision was made. What did he tell you? Taemin was quiet for a long moment. He told me that the humans were not locked away to protect the galaxy from them. They were locked away to protect them from the galaxy. What does that mean? Asked Hyunwoo. It means that something else was coming. Something terrible. And the only species that could fight it were the humans. But the Galactic Confederation was too proud and too afraid to ask for help. So they locked the humans away and decided to face the danger alone. What happened to the danger? Taemin looked very sad. No one knows. The Galactic Confederation fell apart soon after the sealing. Most of the records were lost. But my great-grandfather said something else. He said that the danger would come back someday. And when it did, we would need the humans more than ever. Then we should free them, said Hyunwoo. That is not your choice to make, said Taemin. The seals around their space are not just warnings. They are locks. Very powerful locks. Only someone with the right key can open them. What is the key? I do not know. But I know this. If the seals are ever broken, it will mean that the great danger has returned, and that we will need the humans to save us all. Hyunwoo looked at Yuna, then back at Taemin. He thought about the empty space, the warning beacons, and the humans who had been locked away for thousands of years. Somewhere in that empty space, an entire species was waiting. They did not know why they had been abandoned. They did not know that the galaxy had been too afraid of their goodness to let them free. But Hyunwoo had a feeling that they were about to find out. Captain Hyunwoo could not sleep. For 3 days he had been thinking about the humans locked away in the empty space. He kept seeing the old reports in his mind. He kept thinking about what Taemin had said. Finally, he made a decision. Mira, he said as he walked onto the bridge, set course for the Terran quarantine zone. Mira looked up from her station. Captain, are you sure? The warning said that anyone who enters will be killed. Those warnings are 3,000 years old, said Hyunwoo. Maybe things have changed. June heard them talking. Captain, this is very dangerous. We do not know what is in there. That is exactly why we need to look, said Hyunwoo. An entire species has been locked away for thousands of years. Do they even know why? Do they know the rest of the galaxy exists? The crew looked worried, but they trusted their captain. The stellar wind turned and headed back toward the empty space. It took them 2 days to get there. As they got close, the warning beacon started working again. Hundreds of voices in dead languages told them to stay away. Captain, said the ship's computer, I am detecting the edge of the quarantine zone. The beacons are getting louder. Keep going, said Hyunwoo. As they got closer to the empty space, something strange started to happen. The stars around them began to look different. Space itself seemed to bend and twist. Captain, Mira called out. Something is wrong with our instruments. The lights on the bridge started flashing. The ship began to shake. What is happening? Asked June. I think we are crossing some kind of barrier, said Hyunwoo. Keep going. Suddenly everything went white. The ship felt like it was being pulled in all directions at once. Hyunwoo felt sick and dizzy. Then just as quickly as it started, it stopped. Where are we? Asked Mira. Hyunwoo looked at the main screen. The empty space was gone. Instead, they could see stars and planets. And there, in the center of it all, was a blue and green world orbiting a yellow star. Impossible, whispered June. This space was completely empty when we scanned it. It was hidden, said Hyunwoo. The barrier was hiding everything inside. Mira was working quickly at her station. Captain, I am scanning the blue planet. There are cities on it, millions of them. And there are people living in those cities. The humans, said Hyunwoo. They are still alive. But as they got closer to the planet, Hyunwoo realized something was wrong. The humans on the planet looked normal. Too normal. Their cities were big, but they did not look very advanced. Their technology seemed old compared to what the rest of the galaxy used. These people have not developed faster than light travel, said Mira. They are still using simple rockets to move between their planet and their moon. How is that possible? Asked June. The old report said humans were highly advanced. Before anyone could answer, something else appeared on their screens. It was not a human ship. It was something much bigger and much older. Captain, said the computer, I am detecting an artificial intelligence signal. It is very powerful and very old. A voice filled the bridge. It sounded like it came from everywhere at once. Unknown vessel, you have entered the Terran Preservation Zone. State your purpose. Hyunwoo stood up. This is Captain Hyunwoo of the research vessel Stellar Wind. We are explorers. We found this place by accident. You are not human, said the voice. How did you pass through the barrier? We just flew through it. The barrier let us pass. There was a long silence. Then the voice spoke again, and it sounded surprised. That should not be possible. The barrier was designed to keep everyone out and keep the humans in. If you pass through, it means... The voice stopped. Means what? Asked Hyunwoo. It means the protocols have been activated. Something is coming. Suddenly, the space around their ship filled with light. When the light faded, they were not alone. Huge structures surrounded them, bigger than any space station Hyunwoo had ever seen. They looked very old, but also very powerful. Do not be afraid, said the voice. I am the curator. I have been watching over this place for 3,000 years. Watching over what? Asked Hyunwoo. The humans. But not just any humans. The humans of old. The ones who could change the galaxy with their presence were put into a special sleep. The humans you see on the planet below are their descendants, but they have been limited. Limited how? Their true nature has been suppressed. We have kept them from becoming what they truly are. It was the only way to keep them safe while they waited. Waited for what? The curator was quiet for a moment. Then huge screens appeared around their ship showing images from deep space. For this, said the curator, the images showed something horrible. At the edge of the galaxy, entire star systems were disappearing. Not destroyed, not conquered. They were simply gone, leaving nothing behind. What is that? Whispered Mira. They are called the Devourer's Gum, said the curator. They come from the space between galaxies. They eat reality itself. Everywhere they go, everything stops existing. How long do we have? Asked Hyunwoo. They will reach the main part of the galaxy in less than 1 year. And when they do, everything you know will cease to exist. June was staring at the images. Can they be stopped? Yes, said the curator. But only by the humans. The real humans, not the limited ones you see below. Every time the Devourers have attacked a galaxy, one species becomes able to fight them. In this galaxy, that species is humanity. Then wake them up, said Hyunwoo. It is not that simple. The process of awakening will change them forever. And it will change everyone around them too. The old Galactic Confederation was afraid of what humans could become. They were right to be afraid, but for the wrong reasons. What do you mean? When humans awaken to their true nature, they do not conquer. They inspire. They do not rule. They lead by example. They make everyone around them want to be better, to do more, to never give up. The Confederation was afraid that humans would make them obsolete. But that would be a good thing, said Mira. Yes, said the curator, but they could not see that. They chose to seal the humans away rather than admit they needed help. Hyunwoo looked at the planet below. Millions of humans were living their lives not knowing what they really were or what was coming for them. What happens if we do nothing? He asked. The galaxy dies. The Devourers will consume everything and there will be nothing left. And if we wake up the humans? Then there is hope. But the humans will not be the same people they are now. They will become something more. Something that can stand against the impossible and win. Hyunwoo thought about all the reports he had read. Humans helping in battles they could not win. Humans working on problems they could not solve. Humans giving hope to people who had none. How do we wake them up? He asked. The awakening has already begun, said the curator. When you passed through the barrier, it started automatically. The humans will begin to change very soon. The question is, will the rest of the galaxy accept them when they do? As if to answer his question, alarms started going off all over the ship. Captain, said Mira, I am detecting ships approaching from all over the galaxy. Hundreds of them. They felt the barrier go down, said the curator. Everyone who has been watching this place for thousands of years knows that something has changed. Some will come as friends, others will come as enemies. Enemies? There are still those who believe humans should stay locked away. They will try to stop the awakening even if it means the galaxy dies. Hyunwoo looked at his crew. They all looked scared, but they also looked determined. What do we do? Asked June. We protect them, said Hyunwoo. Whatever happens, we protect the humans until they can protect themselves. And then? Asked Mira. Then we hope they can save us all. The battle for human space began at dawn on the blue planet below. Captain Hyunwoo watched from the bridge of his ship as hundreds of enemy vessels surrounded the hidden human system. But they were not alone. Ships from across the galaxy had come to help defend the humans. Captain, said Mira, the enemy fleet is sending a message. Put it on screen, said Hyunwoo. A large alien appeared on the screen. It had 6 arms and eyes that glowed red. I am General Vex of the Dominion Fleet. You are protecting a dangerous species that should stay locked away. Leave now or we will destroy you all. Hyunwoo stood up. This is Captain Hyunwoo. These humans have done nothing wrong. They have been prisoners for 3,000 years. It is time to let them go. The humans are a threat to the natural order, said General Vex. They make other species think they can be more than they are. This leads to chaos and rebellion. We will not allow it. Then you will have to go through us, said Hyunwoo. The screen went dark. A moment later, the enemy ships opened fire. The battle was fierce. Energy beams and missiles flew between the ships like deadly fireworks. The defenders fought bravely, but they were outnumbered 3-1. Captain, called Mira, our shields are failing. Redirect power from life support, said Hyunwoo. We need to hold them off just a little longer. Below them on the planet, something amazing was happening. Na-young and the other humans could see the battle in space. They did not understand why ships were fighting above their world, but they knew people were dying to protect them. We have to help them, Na-young said to the other humans gathered around her. I do not know how, but we have to try. How can we help? Asked another human named Do-hyun. We do not even have spaceships that can reach them. I do not know, said Na-young, but I feel like we should be able to do something. Like there is something inside us that we have forgotten. As she spoke, something changed in her eyes. They began to glow with a soft light. The same thing was happening to humans all over the planet. In space, the battle was going badly. More and more defender ships were being destroyed. General Vex's forces were pushing closer to the planet. Surrender now, General Vex broadcast to all the defending ships. You cannot win. Stop this pointless fighting. That was when something impossible happened. A voice came over all the communication channels. It was Na Young speaking from the planet below. "This is Na Young of Earth," she said. "I do not know who you are or why you are fighting, but I know that some of you are dying to protect us. We cannot let that happen." "How is she broadcasting to space?" asked Mira. "They do not have that technology." "She is not using technology," said the curator's voice. "She is using something much more powerful. She is awakening." On the planet, Na Young was surrounded by light. Other humans were gathering around her, and they were glowing too. But it was not just light. It was something else. Something that made everyone who saw it feel hope. "People of the galaxy," Na Young continued, "I am starting to remember things. Old things. I remember that my people used to travel the stars. I remember that we used to help others when they needed it. And I remember that we never gave up no matter how bad things got." The light around the humans was getting brighter. It was spreading across their planet and reaching up into space. "If you are fighting to protect us, then we will fight too," said Na Young. "Not with weapons, but with something better. We will fight with hope." Suddenly, the defending ships stopped taking damage. Their shields became stronger. Their weapons became more accurate. The crews felt a surge of energy and determination they had never felt before. "What is happening?" asked General Vex from his command ship. "The humans are awakening," said the curator. "They are becoming what they were always meant to be." On the planet, more humans were joining Na Young. They linked hands and stood together, and the light around them grew even brighter. As they did, something incredible happened throughout the galaxy. Every species that had ever been helped by humans thousands of years ago suddenly remembered. They remembered the humans who had fought beside them in hopeless battles. They remembered the humans who had helped them solve impossible problems. They remembered the humans who had given them hope when all seemed lost. And they decided to help. Ships began appearing all over the system. Not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands. Species from every corner of the galaxy came to defend the humans. Many of them had been enemies of each other for centuries, but now they fought side by side. "This is impossible," shouted General Vex. "Where are all these ships coming from?" "They are coming from everywhere," said Hyunwoo. "The humans taught them to hope, and now they are returning the favor." But the real surprise came when ships started appearing inside the quarantine zone itself. Ships that looked human, but far more advanced than anything the humans on the planet had built. "What are those?" asked Mira. "Hidden human colonies," said the curator. Before the quarantine, some humans had already left Earth to explore the galaxy. They have been hiding all this time waiting for this moment. A new voice came over the communication channels. "This is Admiral Do-hyun of the Hidden Fleet. We have been waiting 3,000 years to come home." The hidden human ships were amazing. They moved like they were alive, and their weapons could destroy enemy ships with a single shot. But more importantly, wherever they went, the other defender ships fought better. "The humans are not just awakening on Earth," said the curator. "They are awakening everywhere, and everyone around them is awakening too." General Vex's fleet was now completely surrounded. Ships from hundreds of different species had come to fight for the humans. The battle was no longer about protecting one planet. It had become about protecting the idea that people could be better than they were. "All ships, retreat," ordered General Vex. "This is not over." But as his ships tried to leave, they found something waiting for them at the edge of the system. The Devourers had arrived early. The massive creatures from the void between galaxies began eating General Vex's ships. They consumed them completely, leaving nothing behind. "Oh no," whispered Mira. "They are here." The Devourers turned toward the planet Earth. They were bigger than anything anyone had ever seen, and they radiated a feeling of hopelessness that made everyone want to give up. "Now you will see," said the curator, "why the humans were truly needed." Na Young and the humans on the planet looked up at the approaching Devourers. They should have been terrified. Any normal species would have run or surrendered. Instead, Na Young smiled. "Finally," she said, "a real challenge." The light around the humans exploded outward, reaching every ship in the system. Suddenly, no one felt hopeless anymore. Instead, they felt like they could fight anything. "This is Admiral Do-hyun to all ships," came the voice from the hidden human fleet. "Remember, we do not fight because we know we can win. We fight because it is the right thing to do." The final battle began. Humans and aliens fought side by side against creatures that ate reality itself. It should have been impossible to win. But the humans had taught everyone the most important lesson of all. Sometimes when you refuse to give up, impossible things become possible. Jin Wu, a young human pilot, led the final charge against the biggest devourer. His ship was tiny compared to the monster, but he flew straight at it anyway. "This is for everyone who ever hoped for something better," he said as his ship broke apart around him. The devourer consumed his ship, but it could not consume what Jin Wu represented: hope, courage, the refusal to surrender, and that made all the difference. The devourers, faced with creatures they could not make give up, retreated back to the void. They would return someday. But not today. The galaxy was saved. In the aftermath, Seira, a human philosopher who had become a leader during the awakening, stood before representatives of every species in the galaxy. "We do not want to rule you," she said. "We just want to work with you. Together we can build something better than any of us could build alone." Captain Hyunwoo, standing in the crowd, smiled. The humans were free. The galaxy was safe, and everyone had learned that being better was possible. The long nightmare was over. The age of hope had begun. And in the depths of space, the warning beacons that had once kept the humans locked away changed their message. Now they said something new. "Welcome to the Terran system. Here anything is possible." The curator brought Captain Hyunwoo and his crew inside one of the ancient structures. The walls were covered with screens showing what was happening all over the galaxy. The devourers were moving faster now, eating more star systems every day. "Sit down," said the curator. Its voice came from everywhere, but Hyunwoo could not see any body. "You need to understand what you have started." Hyunwoo and his crew sat in chairs that appeared from the floor. "We just wanted to explore," he said. "And that curiosity may have saved the galaxy," said the curator. "But first you must know the whole truth." The screens around them changed, showing images from long ago. Hyunwoo saw humans working with other species, building great things together. 3,000 years ago, the galaxy was different, said the curator. Humans lived among all the other species. They were not rulers or conquerors. They were teachers. Teachers of what? Asked Mira. Of hope, of courage, of never giving up. Wherever humans went, other species began to do things they never thought possible. Wars ended not through conquest, but through understanding. Planets that were dying found new ways to live. People who had given up hope started dreaming again. The images showed humans doing simple things, helping build hospitals, teaching children, working in mines alongside aliens. But wherever they went, everything got better. The old governments became worried, continued the curator. If people could solve their own problems, if they could find hope without leaders telling them what to hope for, what would happen to those who ruled them? So they decided to get rid of the humans, said June. Not get rid of them, hide them. The Galactic Confederation told everyone that a great danger was coming from outside the galaxy. They said the humans needed to be protected in a special place until the danger passed. But that was a lie, said Hyunwoo. Yes and no, said the curator. The devourers were real. The Confederation had detected them coming from far away. But the devourers were still thousands of years away. The Confederation used them as an excuse to lock away the humans immediately. What did the humans think about this? They believed the lie. They thought they were being protected. They went willingly into their prison because they trusted the other species to tell them the truth. Hyunwoo felt sick. They trusted, and that trust was used against them. Yes. But here is what the Confederation did not understand. The devourers do not just eat planets and stars. They eat the will to live. They eat hope itself. When they come to a galaxy, most species just give up and let themselves be consumed. But not humans, said Mira. No, not humans. Humans are the only species that become stronger when things get worse. They are the only ones who can look at impossible odds and decide to fight anyway. That is why they are called the Risen. The Risen? Every galaxy that faces the Devourers produces one species that rises above what they used to be. They become something more than they were before. In this galaxy, humans are the Risen, but they need to awaken to their true nature before they can fight. And that is happening now? Asked Hyunwoo. Yes, look, the screen showed the blue planet below. Cities were lighting up with strange energy. People were coming out of their houses looking up at the sky as if they could feel something changing. The humans on the planet are descendants of the originals, but they have been kept in a kind of sleep. Their true abilities have been suppressed for thousands of years. But now that the barrier is down, they are starting to remember what they really are. On the screens, Hyunwoo saw a young human woman in a white coat. She was standing in front of a large telescope looking up at the stars. "That is Na-young," said the curator. "She is one of their scientists. She has been watching space for signs of life beyond their world. She does not know it yet, but she is about to become much more than a scientist." As they watched, Na-young suddenly stopped what she was doing. She looked around as if she could hear something no one else could hear. Then she ran to her computer and started typing very fast. "What is she doing?" asked June. "She is receiving the awakening signal," said the curator. "All over the planet, humans are starting to remember. Not with their minds, but with something deeper. They are remembering what their people used to be able to do." More screens showed other humans. A man working in a factory suddenly knew how to fix machines that had been broken for years. A woman teaching children suddenly understood how to make them believe they could do anything. An old man in a hospital started helping sick people feel better just by talking to them. "They are becoming what they were always meant to be," said the curator. "But this is just the beginning. The real awakening will happen when they face their first real challenge." "What kind of challenge?" asked Hyunwoo. The curator was quiet for a moment. Then the screen showed something that made everyone gasp. Ships were coming toward the hidden human space. Hundreds of them. But they were not exploration ships like the Stellar Wind. They were warships. "Who are they?" asked Mira. "Species that still believe humans should stay locked away. They felt the barrier fall and they are coming to put it back up, by force if necessary." "But the humans are not ready to defend themselves yet," said Hyunwoo. "No, they are not. That is why others must defend them until they are." "Others like us?" "If you choose to. But know this. If you fight to protect the humans, you will be going against some of the most powerful species in the galaxy. Many of your own people may think you are wrong." Hyunwoo looked at his crew. Mira was scared but determined. June looked worried but ready. They had all read the old reports. They knew what humans used to be like. "We will fight," said Hyunwoo, "even if it means dying." "The humans used to fight for others even when they knew they would die," said Hyunwoo. "Now it is our turn to fight for them." The curator was quiet for a long moment. "You are beginning to understand what humans do to other species. They make them want to be heroes." Alarms started going off all around them. "The enemy ships will be here in 6 hours," said the curator. "But I have something that might help." The floor opened up, and platforms rose carrying weapons and equipment that looked very advanced. These were made by humans and other species working together 3,000 years ago. They have been waiting here all this time. Hyunwoo picked up one of the weapons. It felt warm in his hands, like it was alive. "There is something else," said the curator. "You will not be fighting alone. The awakening signal has gone out across the galaxy. Every species that remembers what humans used to mean, every group that has been waiting for them to return is coming to help." "How many?" asked Mira. "Thousands of ships. Maybe tens of thousands. The galaxy has been waiting for this day for a very long time." On the screens, Hyunwoo could see Na-young again. She was now talking to other humans all over the planet. They were organizing, getting ready for something, even though they did not know what. "They can feel it coming," said the curator. "The danger, the fight, the need to be something more than they are. It is in their nature to answer when others need help." "And when they fully awaken?" asked Hyunwoo. "Then the real war begins. Not just for this galaxy, but for the right of all species everywhere to keep existing. The Devourers have never been stopped before, but they have never faced awakened humans before either." Hyunwoo looked at the approaching enemy ships, then at the human planet below. Somewhere down there, an entire species was remembering what they used to be, and soon they would become something even greater. "How long until the humans are fully awakened?" he asked. "Soon," said the curator. "Very soon. But first, they need to see that others are willing to fight for them just like they once fought for others. That is what will complete their awakening." "Then we better win this battle," said Hyunwoo. "Yes," said the curator. "You better."